Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie and I'm excited about today's conversation where we focus about something that truly resonates with me. Design, energy, ambiances, and how that all shapes the world around us. As a real estate advisor and always being in the middle of design, I find it fascinating how energies, ambiances, spaces, angles all shape the way we live and really reflects who we are. Today, I am really passionate and thrilled to be with Emmanuel Pereira, a vision creator, but really experienced person about connecting energies, the flow of spaces, and really incorporating the way you live and the environment with your energy and yourself. She is more than just creating pleasing aesthetic places, but really transforming the spaces into an energy balancing and harmonious space.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you so much for being here, and I'm really thrilled to have you, Emma.
Thank you for having me. I'm so
This is exciting. Emma, I want to, really dive into the beginning of your journey and the beginning of how this whole process started and how designing has shaped your life, has shaped your environment, and really influenced the people around you. Even me watching you outside, I'm really passionate and influenced by all you do. So, how did this all started?
Well, like I said earlier to her, this is new for me, like being on camera and just like kind of opening up, being vulnerable. But I'm really excited to keep doing it because I feel like it has helped me so much grow and like come to this alignment where I just magnetize things, which is something that we had discussed before.
Yeah.
So I'm from Venezuela. My mother has always loved self-help and retreats and all these things that like create healing through community.
Yeah.
That has always called me ever since I went to a retreat in Chile.
Yes.
Pucón. We were in nature, completely in nature, sleeping in tents in the middle of this mountain, showering with like melted ice from the mountain. It was like so magical. Like so many different things happened in that trip. It was like a 1 week trip. When we got there, the mountain welcomed us with a rain, with like this crazy storm. And then when we left, because they told us it was like this myth that the mountain welcomes people with a storm. And then I'm like, well, okay, maybe. I don't know if that's true. And then when we left, it rained again for the next group to come in.
Wow.
I was like, so that's when I started believing like there's something out there that we can't see, but that we can feel.
Correct.
I was 13.
Okay.
So I was 13. Obviously, at that moment, you don't know what's what. Like, you have religion, you have all these things, but you don't really understand what the.
You're just shaping your beliefs at that point.
You're shaping your beliefs. So that to me was like a turning point. I was like, oh my God. And like that, a bunch of things happened. And there, it was like they talked about the duendes, that they were like steal things and they were like mischievous.
Yeah.
They stole our camera and then they returned it. It was like crazy things, crazy, like a little woo woo, but it just made me believe that there's something bigger, and like it made me feel good.
Yeah.
Like showering in this cold river, like it's just like I felt revitalized. When I left that retreat, it was just like, okay, complete turning point. Obviously, I was still young, so but
this was you were in South America at this point.
No, I was in
Here.
Miami already.
Okay.
I moved here when I was 8.
Okay.
To the United States.
Okay.
And I think to me that was like a big rupture of like my roots, because I grew up in Venezuela with my whole family. You know how it is in Latin countries.
Yes.
You have like family here, family there. You have your safe space with the people around you. Then you come here. I come with my mom and my sisters, the 3 of us alone in this country. The culture is completely different, a lot more cold. Everyone's like, you over there, me over here.
Yeah.
And as a child, you don't like understand it very well, but like you feel it. Because like, when I talk about the energy, you feel that you're like kind of like secluded. So I was very outgoing, very talkative, very like, woo. And then I get here and I start like, my fire starts like quieting. Like, and that was when I was 8. So I was like, oh, and then I start getting like chiquita, like small. And then I go to this trip and I'm like, oh my God, like people being together, healing in community is so important.
Right.
And then as a Taurus, I'm a Taurus, so I start, connecting with the earth so deeply in this like very raw site, the tierra, el agua, la lluvia, like all these things that like just open up my mind so much.
And do you think like this connection at that point, like at some point, like reflourished when you were like, so tell us about the journey of like, okay, you went to high school, you finished high school, you decided to take a profession into architecture, correct?
Yes.
So, how did you revive these feelings from that trip, like with this, like finding it back into architecture?
So I think what that did was like started like a shift for me in this finding myself, connecting with the earth. And it was like a quiet one. It was like a quiet one because at that age I was going through my teen years. So I was like understanding myself. But I did start a conversation with the earth where I connected with my intuition again. I started connecting with my intuition again. I found the right group. I found the right boyfriend, which is who I'm married to now. That's when like we finally got together. So it was like life was finally like aligning me again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've always loved art and creation and just like creating things from nothing. That to me has always been like arts and crafts. I always love to do like sculptures when I was little. So when I was in school, I went to school. Both my mom and my dad are designers. My mom studied interior design. Beautiful. She's just a creator too. And my dad, he studied industrial design. Wow. In Venezuela.
Nice.
So as I was having a conversation with him, I'm like, I don't know what to study. I'm like confused, whatever. He's like, I've always wanted to be an architect. He told me, I always wanted to be an architect. And I'm like, bing, like moment. It was like, that's it.
Yeah. So it's like that connection.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel like, and you're a mom, I'm a mom too. And you say this, but I was influenced by my mother in her real estate career. I took on her steps as well in the whole real estate industry. And the reason why I'm also fascinated by design today. Mm-hmm. But also you are shaping your kite's life. And I feel like in this story that you're telling me, I feel your parents in some way also shaped where you're headed to within your own destiny. You just kind of made it prettier in your own way.
Exactly. 1,000%. And in a way, I feel like we are all living our parents' kind of destiny too. Mm-hmm. Like we're all so connected.
Yes.
We're all connected.
Yes.
All of us. But like with our roots, it's even more. So living that dream that my dad had also felt exciting because it was like something that he didn't have. And then I was like, oh my God, I could do it. I'm going to go. I'm gonna do it.
Well, what do you think? So, one of the things that fascinates me about and that really resonates, and, we don't have a phone call conversation ever. So really, I'm here because I resonated with what you put out to the world, right? Mm-hmm. What I feel resonance with is how, within a space, you're not concerned so much because aesthetically it looks beautiful, yet it's minimalistic. Some things I feel like in my head would have never flown, right? Yet they look perfect. They feel a special type of way, right? Mm-hmm. So when I see these pictures, I resonate with this, right? And so I feel like you work a lot with energy. I feel like these spaces, and I said it at the introduction, it's not just about how pretty they look, but how alive they feel, right? Mm-hmm. Can you walk us on like, what was your first project that you were like, I'm here. This is it. I feel like I need to work more with my energy. Like, how did that come about?
So it's funny because right now is when I'm actually giving words to that process. And that has always been like that for me. When I went to architecture school, I would make these like models and like do these things. And it was all very intuitive. Like for me, it's always been intuitive. I truly believe that that I'm a channel to the earth. Because sometimes I'll just be like in the flow, like I'll get in the flow and I'll start designing. And then I'm like, how did that happen? Like, I have no idea how that happened. But it's like, I'm so connected to the earth in that way that it just like designs through me. And that's when I enter in that flow state. Nice. So right now I'm very drawn to follow my intuition because that's what it is. It's the universe, it's the earth channeling through us. Like we are just their tool to like actually materialize things. But like once you really align and you're like connected and in flow, it's not you. Like it's something higher, right? that's why sometimes it was really hard for me. Like, let's say in school, they would say like, you have to have like a concept and a thesis and like the mental. And I was like, but I don't know. I just did it intuitively. And then when I would present it, the why just made sense. It's like, oh, you did that because this and this, and like other people sometimes would reflect to me why I did it, and I was like, you're right. I probably did it because of that. But it was like it makes so much sense. Much like how nature just flows. It just grows. The trees just grow, and like then it's like, oh, it happens because of this and this scientifically.
Right.
So it's a very intuitive process, and I've come across in the last few years with architects and landscape architects that say the same thing. They're like, I just sit in the site and I let it speak to me.
Right.
I let the earth tell me what it wants.
Wow.
It's very, very powerful.
Wow. And when you lean into that, you kind of let go of control. Let go of the mind telling you like, you have to do it like this because you read it in a book like this. No,
Right.
It's like, let it flow a little. If you already know that you're a channel for this,
Because everyone has different gifts.
Right.
So my gift, I guess it's the gift of maybe architecture and interiors and materials. So then I kind of lead through there.
Right.
But with every other profession, I think everyone can do it in that way, guiding.
If they let themselves be guided. You know, it's you mentioned something that reminds me of my professor Robert Gilbert in his course Biogeometry, and he mentions how we are the only animals that have forgotten to build our houses towards our environment to reflect who we are and what we need, right? Mm-hmm. And so animals out there, birds build their nests according to what they need, according to the height that they needed, and all of these things. Yet we used to do the same thing in our architecture, like ancient Egypt that still holds magnificent architecture. You know, we find today that had been designed with intention and purpose behind it. Yet we are building four-wall houses and we forget how the environment really, we become one with it. And so, you know, we mentioned how because of cost, we have to, a lot of people choose materials that are inexpensive, but that look good. And I want you to let us know how important that process of selection materials is when it comes to our environment. What does that do when we choose floors that are not real wood towards synthetic floors? How does that connect with us through our feet? Like, I think there's so much going on that we have to bring conscience. Shed us some light here.
Well, let me first start off by saying it's so important to live in a space that makes you feel connected to you.
Okay.
And what are you? You are nature. So if we are nature, if that's a concept or that's the truth, what about if we bring in more of the outdoors inside? And that's a concept that I kind of like evolved into, because in the beginning when I started building Lumi Collection and my houses, we were on a budget, you know, we didn't have that much money, so it's not like I used all super earthy materials because they're a little bit more expensive, but it intuitively started happening. And once I did, like for example, I have some houses that I have vinyl floors and it feels completely different than this house where we have like actual real wood, like real wood floors. It breathes,
right?
Like you can smell, like you get connected to your senses. And what happens when you're connected to your senses, you're more present,
right?
You're in your truth. You're not like in your head flying around being anxious. And that's what I feel when I enter this house. This is Kasaishi, which is one of the latest ones that we've designed. And I really started like intentionally selecting materials that were alive. Wood floors, the rock in the wall, like almost every material in this house is a material that is alive.
And I have to add to that because my world is real estate. My mother's world has been real estate. So you can imagine how many houses I've entered along the experience of my life. It hasn't been one. I can probably go into the thousands of properties. And one thing that I speak to my mother and my grandmother at that point about is how when you walk into a space, and I had to show properties that look great and I had to show properties that look not great. And you can walk into a space and feel whether the space is heavy, whether the space is happy, whether the space, you know, has had some traumatic events, you can sense it. Like you don't even have to. You can just walk into a space and say, "I need to get out. I don't want to be here." Or you can walk into a spa and say, "Oh my God, I can stay here all day long," right? And it's like this energy communication between the spaces that we're at and ourselves. So we are truly in constant communication with everything around us. And I think that that's one of the things that really fascinate about me, and I want to shed light into the world because we live in a life in a day that everything is through our senses to please our eyes, to please how we view things. Yet we're forgetting about the essentials of life, which is about how we feel. And so being in real estate, and the reason of this episode today is really to shed on light about, if you're in your space, what are you doing to get it connected to the right materials so that in return it gives you the right harmonizing feeling of being in a nice place at home and feeling welcome and not having like need to go take a walk because you don't know what's going on in your head in your own house. You can really change the frequencies in your house by selecting the right materials and coordinating with the right things, right? How does that process look like for you also when you like, okay, you've had to put it together in your head. Now it's time to go into action, and it's like, is it really gonna play out how it turned out in my head? And then you have this end result. Like what does that feel like?
It feels amazing. I mean, having done it right now, I feel like you have the concept, you have the ideas, you put them to work, you apply them, and then you find yourself with this power spot basically. And biogeometry, they mentioned that a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sites in the world that are power spots.
Yes.
They give us energy. So we
For free.
For free.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Imagine if that's your home. And that's one of the things, because I also do, I work with clients where I design for them their homes. I envision myself as this tool that I'm helping that person be more powerful so that they can go and do what they do best out in the world.
Wow.
So I am that tool to them so that they have a harmonizing home, they have a harmonizing space. And it's the intention that you put behind it too. It's funny because when I opened this house, I did a little gathering, and the people that came up, like who I wanted to invite, because I've always thought of this house like a very intimate gathering, it's like for people to connect, people to commune, because I'm so like in love with that process of communal healing. I was like, who should I invite? And then as I was thinking of the 5-6 couples that I thought, it was people who I had designed for. So there was a connection there because they chose me to help them. And then they're also very aligned with the way that I think. Yeah. Our values are very similar.
Yeah. And also helping you with allowing yourself to flow into this true authenticity of it is. And then before we jump into the authenticity, which I want to like shed light on, I want us to maybe speak about or speak to the viewers out there, right? I want you to let us know, how do you think color, lighting, material play a role in creating harmonious environments, right? And also, what can renters, if they don't own a house, or people that are living in their house, what can they do? Simple things that they can do to just change a few things and make their environments feel like, maybe like changing color, or what does that feel like? What do you think?
There's many ways. I think there's many ways to do it. I have also a lot of friends who live in apartments, and they have asked me like, what do I do? There's paint now, lime wash.
Yes.
It's very popular now.
Love it.
Yeah, it has actual limestone crumbled in there, so it already elevates the energy of the walls, like everything within that space. I also think that everyone has their individual style, their individual self-expression. So like being in a space that inspires you, whether that's, you mentioned that you liked a lot of little gadgets.
Yeah.
That's totally okay. Yeah. It's just like finding what calls you and makes you feel like, oh my God, I love seeing that.
Yeah, so for the viewers that didn't know our previous conversation, she's very minimalistic, and I'm very not minimalistic, right? So maximalistic, thank you. So I love all the little things, and I have like this whole wall of like things my grandma gave me, and I collected, and like it is a hot mess of things. Yet I walk into the space and I feel great, I feel alive, I feel in harmony, I feel in energy, I feel in reflection with myself. And that is okay for me, right? Not for my husband. He doesn't even walk into the room because he hates it. But you're right. I think it's something that really aligns with who we are in an essence and allowing that to flow without restrictions of who's going to like it or not.
Exactly. And also there's little rules that I recommend, which is like number one, try as much as possible to have natural materials.
Okay.
The base of the home, let it be something neutral, something timeless, something very with materials from the earth, but also make it be like a blank canvas.
Okay.
Because you can put your art, you can put your shelves with all your sculptures and things that are meaningful to you. But this is a blank canvas. The home should be a blank canvas because we also evolve, we also change. Like this year we like the reds, the next year we like the pinks. So you want it to be this blank canvas where you can self-express as you change. And then that way it's also a good investment.
Yeah. And I think that circles back to like people like me. I feel like I don't know how to design. I'm in the real estate world and I know how to sell houses, how to invest, how to do numbers, the whole night. I love it. Yet when it comes to designing a space, I feel like I need help and I'd rather have the help of a designer. So I'll probably call you or I'll probably call who else to come and help me design my spaces because something here tells me I cannot, which I will have my conversation about. But what do you think if somebody's out there trying to hire a designer or an architect for their next project, their home, their face? Is there something that you can let them know about aligning with that person? Can anybody design anybody's space, or should you be more specific about who designs your own space?
Yeah, the latter for sure. I think right now we have this amazing tool called social media where you connect with anyone in the world. Yes. So I think if you start either asking if you know nothing about design, you can start expressing yourself as you are, and little by little, if you need someone, say, I need a designer, the right person might come to you type of a thing. I know that sounds like sketchy, but that's how I've seen it, because we have been talking before, and that when I look for people who I need help for in social media or a photographer, I've always been like, I post something like, I need a photographer or I need this, and people know who I am. People know
like broadcasting it to the world.
Broadcasting it to the world, and then they come. Because sometimes, yes, I can tell you, like, go to this website and look for this person, but it's easier when you kind of like know so well who you are and what you want that you kind of magnetize.
Yeah, and also, some of us, like me, I wouldn't know what I want. I know what I want to feel, but I don't know what I want. And I don't know how to translate what I want to feel, right? Yeah, and that's been always a difficulty for me with design. But I feel like if I was to meet a person like you, who aligns with my energy, maybe I don't even have to speak. I can tell you exactly how I want to feel, and you would capture the essence of what I want and design based on that. And so I feel like if I approach a very logical designer, which I know a lot of them, and I try to explain what I want to feel, they want to know what I want to see, and I can't explain that. And so with this whole concept, I want to kind of reinforce what you're saying is that when finding the person that's going to work with you and align with your home, which is it's a reflection of who you are, I believe that you should not only speak about the senses, which is what you see, what you smell, what you touch, but also about the person who is reflecting, right? About the person who you're connecting with that can allow you to feel and catch on what you're feeling so they can reflect it into a masterpiece, right?
1,000%.
You made beautiful design, you made beautiful architecture, and in return, you're able to earn a living out of it. And yes, you have your 9 to 5 job. I don't know if you're going to leave it at some point. But however, aligning with your true essence, which is aligning with your flow in design, has allowed you to make a living and earning. And we're sitting in one of your creations that we have to leave pretty soon because it's going to get booked. But, this makes me really excited because I want to kind of understand, maybe you can share with the public too, sometimes our creativeness, we feel like it's not going to monetize, right? If we are too out of our world or people don't understand or we don't fit in a specific box, then we probably don't step into our true self into very later on in lives because we feel like it's not going to be accepted. Yet you have your own niche. You created your own specific way of designing and connecting to nature. Maybe it's not for everybody. Yet there's a lot of people that do connect with it. And yet you are making a living and you're monetizing and you're an entrepreneur for doing this. So how did this like stepping into your truth, into your essence and aligning with it allow you to make a living out of it?
I love that question. Thank you for asking me. I feel like there's a message here that I want to share and that I've been wanting to share for a really long time. I just haven't like really found the words to say it, but you have to do the thing that scares you the most. Like that's it. You just have to do the thing that scares you the most. That's your clue. Something scares me. Go do it. Like don't even think about it.
So this scared you before?
Yes. The one thing that scared me in the beginning, because when I started, I was working in a construction company. The one thing that scared me was like, I don't have the money to build a whole thing ground up. But I got the money from wherever I found it. I found it and I did it. And once I did it, all these magical things happened. It was like, boop, 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 boop. Here, I'm going to support you. And then today, my husband just quit his job 3 months ago. And we're both being supported by this that we are so passionate about, that we love. And then there's new opportunities popping up. And now there's another thing that scares me, which is talking to the camera and speaking in public and sharing my knowledge and this truth that we can all be free. We can actually live a life that we feel passionate about. We don't have to sacrifice our time to get money. We have to go for the thing that scares us the most, and then magically things work out.
Yeah.
We just gotta trust.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. And whoever is watching us who really resonates with this frequency and energy, we can understand how scary it is to be and to step into our true selves. Because for us working in this spiritual realm or this other subtle energy realm, we feel very lonely. It's not a very place that we're very accepted. And so speaking and aligning with it takes a lot of courage. And so I want to be evidencing, making evidence of what's going on and sharing it to the world. Because if there's anybody out there that, feels lonely, like I felt maybe with designing spaces before, you're not. Mm-hmm. There's people out there that connect with you. And, Emma here, although she's not going to be designing for everybody, she wants to teach the world what it is to design spaces with intention. She wants to teach the world what it is to connect the right materials, how it is that you should feel in your own house. So approaching this beautiful person here can allow you to actually connect with what it is for you out there and how you can change your environment and how you should change your environment. This is a call to action, guys.
And that's one of the things that I've been thinking, because I also have some people that tell me, oh, but it's easy for you because you know how to design, you know about aesthetics and your family too. But we all know somebody that has that kind of gift. Even within our friends, within our family, you can go on Pinterest and see what kind of style you like, right? Which one draws to you. You get 5 images. I like these 5 images. You talk to somebody in your, help me create this.
Right.
And then you have these technical tools like using materials that are alive, making your space a canvas, a blank canvas. And then it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah. Once you align with it.
Once you align with that vision that you want or that you truly are, then there's just next steps to take.
Beautiful. Are you excited about it? Do you have any other projects that are coming? Is there anything in your mind out there that you want to project to the world that it comes back to you in a million pieces? Like, is there anything that your heart desires to build, to construct? What do you see Emma doing like as this visionary creator of experiences?
There's several things. But the next big thing that really scares me is communicating. Communicating more, actually finding the words to be able to say these things and so people could understand it so that we can all get inspired, like actually, talk on a stage, really impact as many lives as possible. That's what really scares me right now. But that's how I know that's where I need to go. That's where I need to go. I haven't even decided if I'm going to do it yet, but I know that that's inevitable for me because I have already all that information that can help so many people. It's already helped me so much that now either I do it or I do it.
Yeah. And if there's one project, like if one thing that you can design and build out, like that would be your dream.
Oh yeah,
What would that be?
That.
What would that look like?
I want to create temples. I want to create huge temples where people can connect with nature that are outdoor, indoor, kind of like an explosive version of this, but architecture.
Nice.
Impactful and greatness, where people could talk and share their ideas, where people could commune and heal together. And like not only about healing, but more about like growing together.
Nice.
Let's grow together. Let's evolve together. It's a space where we could create. There's space for self-expression. There's space for these kind of talks. And it's just inspiring also. You know, it's not a convention center and it's like
Yeah.
a dark room. No, it's like we're also being influenced by the environment. We're also being facilitated by the space. So the space becomes a facilitator.
Yes.
So that's my next big project dream that I know I'm getting there. But it all takes a process. We also have to be patient.
And we can't wait to see the process with you and to share it. And we want to see it become alive. And if there's anybody out there that wants to put this process out there, please.
Yes.
Because we need more spaces like this that actually create connections that allow us to explore who we really are, because we are conditioned to live much more inside of this than inside of this. And so, you know, I'm really thankful. I'm really happy that you are bringing light into this magical world of design and homes and real estate. And, you know, we are mothers. You know, you're a mother, I'm a mother. I believe that our homes are also our sanctuaries, and mothers out there that, you know, also, you know, we have to reflect who we are. We must also do well for our kids and who are we leaving behind. You know, I think you're leaving a great legacy. I'm sure your kids will enjoy all the processes that you're doing. This is one of your projects, Casa Ishi in Miami, in the area of Wynwood, Miami. We're going to be sharing a lot more of the projects that Emma has. If you are a content creator, if you are somebody that wants to just have interviews in a specific place, this is it. We're going to show you pictures. We're going to show you how this turned out, how sacred geometry is playing a huge part of this sacred spot, and how materials are making us feel alive in this place. Thank you, Emma.
I actually want to add one little thing, which was mainly a little bit what connected us too. We did the crystals in the space, the crystal pyramid inside the walls of this space.
You did. Let's speak about this. Forget to tell you about this. Okay, rewind. Let's put this in somewhere in the middle. Okay, so Emma, tell me about what type of minerals you have placed here. So let's talk a little bit about sacred geometry, right? What is sacred geometry, and how does that influence your space? And how did you align any of these walls with sacred geometry?
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm exploring lately a lot is I've always had that intuitive feel to create things with the round, with, you know, the spirals. All of that was kind of just intuitive to me. But now I'm exploring crystals in the walls, biogeometry, also in the paint. But also for me right now, it's kind of like just an exploration. I'm just like touching on little things that I've heard and I've read. But we are nature. So we kind of already have this in our DNA. We already know that this works. So then we just intuitively like, okay, we know that the jade brings abundance. We know that the citron also brings abundance. So like we put them in the space as a pyramid. It's kind of like that intuitive process of selecting the minerals and placing them inside of the walls, and it creates this magnetic field that raises the vibration. And this is, like I said, I'm just exploring this. I'm not an expert whatsoever in this, but I already feel it in this space. I already feel the elevatedness. That's another way to bring in the outdoors in. And then the biogeometry too. I started doing the heart signature on the walls, and my intention was I wanted people when they came in to connect to their hearts. So just with that intention, you don't have to do the signature perfectly fine.
Right.
You just have to connect with your intention, and you want it so bad that when people come in, they're going to connect.
It's beautiful. And for our viewers out there, biogeometry is how angles, space, colors proportions. How does this all come together in subtle energies that can be quantifiable in a way that they can be measured? So if we wanted to, we have tools today that can measure the frequency qualities in a space. What Maya geometry does with the shapes of geometry with angles and proportion, it allows you to elevate spaces or elevate the feeling of a space. It comes back again to how we feel within us. And those are things that you cannot touch, only you can feel. And so biogeometry plays a major role with everything we cannot see. And I love that you work with it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Emma, for
Thank
your
you.
time. Is there anything that you want to close with? Is there anything you want to tell the world today?
Well, I want to thank you for doing this. Thank you so much for connecting with me and for I feel like I magnetized you. I needed that. Like I wanna go out there and speak more and tell you guys more about everything that I've discovered that has helped me and my family so much. It's helped me and my family be able to travel, to be together more hours than we ever thought could be possible. My husband doesn't work a 9 to 5. I don't work a 9 to 5. We can shape our days exactly like we want. And there's no better way to live than having the freedom to do what you want every single day. So
I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining us. And, we can't wait to share with you more and share your progress and everything that's going on. And be sure that on the link below, we're going to leave you all the information for all of Emma's houses so you guys can check it out.
thank you.
Till next time. Ciao, ciao.